Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, your source for exceptional video analysis of stocks, ETFs, and indices so you can become a better trader. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, August 5th. We're going to take a look at the market action of the last 2 days, and we're going to look at Germany, India, and China tonight. Also, we do that every Wednesday. Look at a couple of our key ETFs, indicators, and then 4 stocks tonight that have kind of been in the news today. Disney, Green Mountain, or Keurig Green Mountain, First Solar, and Tesla. Okay, we're going to start off here with the Dow. The Dow was down 10 points today. It had been up most of the day, as you can see by this bar here. And then we closed down close to being a doji bar, close to right where we opened. We did go to a lower low. I think we broke this low, 496 down here. Yeah, by a couple of points, took out this low. We're still trending down here on the Dow. Now, this was heavily weighted by Disney because the S&P 500 was actually up today, up 6.52 points. But again, it was trying to rally, and that sold off in the second half of the day. It stayed above where it opened, and it opened up. But then sold off most of the day. Now, with the last 2 days closed below the 10-day, the blue line, we're just slightly above it here, and you can see these 3 moving averages are kind of converging right here because we've kind of been doing this little bit of a sideways push, although we are down for the week. I mean, this was last Friday's close. We're down slightly for the week. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ up today, up 34 points. But again, a little bit almost like a little shooting star, doji type thing up above here, a little gap up. But again, the 10 is above the 21, above the 55, still slightly trending up. But I've talked about this little formation. I'm looking for this to resume again to the downside. We'll see if that happens or not. The New York Composite, similar type scenario to the, probably closer to the S&P 500. It was up today, up 23 points. So again, you can see it gapped up even more and then sold back down and closed below. That's why you got a dark bar. It closed below where it opened, but it's blue because it was an up day. So that's what you're looking at here. Now the 10 remains below the 21. So these 3 moving averages are still lined downward, and you can see how the 55 is got a pretty good angle to it in terms of coming down. If this keeps moving, if it keeps trading down in here or pushes lower, that's going to start to accelerate to the downside. Russell 2000, as opposed here, you can see how flat this is. It hasn't pulled down enough yet, but the short and intermediate trend are down and lined up here. Russell's up 2.9 points today, so barely doing anything. And again, just like all the markets, they reversed back down today. So the bulls couldn't hold it today. Let's take a look at the German DAX. The German DAX has been rallying since this low here on the 27th, which was on a Monday, so 2 weeks ago, basically, a week ago Monday. Since that point, we've bounced back up. It has not gone to a new high yet, so that's what we'll be watching for to see if this starts to trend up and gets above here or not. And you can see this is starting to do some kind of, we're still getting these overlapping waves. So we continue to watch the German DAX and see if it tells us anything. India, same type of thing going on here. I was looking for this to push. Now I'm kind of suspicious as to whether this has gone as low as it's going to go or not here, just because of this wave action that we're getting here on the India Nifty 50. Now, this is still, a very strong uptrend. I'm expecting us to resume for one more move up here. And we've talked about this before, so I don't need to spend a ton of time on it. Shanghai Composite continues to be in a downtrend, although it's been seesawing back and forth over the last week or so. Whereas a week ago was the 29th, right here. So it's Wednesday. So we're down slightly from last Wednesday, but you can see down and up, and here we were down a little bit today. Now I'm watching this. I thought maybe we were going to go on Mondays with Monday's price action, but it closed back above that trend line here that I've got drawn. So we'll see. This little zigzag, little ABC three-wave back up here looks like a counter trend move to me. We'll see whether we're going to need to take out these lows here for a continuation on down. So that's what I'll be watching for on China. Let's take a look at our indicators. The short-term trading index that we always look at. It's basically not signaling a whole lot of anything new. It's right in the middle. So again, it is neutral, not extreme. The VIX was kind of interesting today. It got very low down here, 10.88, and is that the lowest in the year? Well, back all the way, you'd have to go back to last August, and even there it's 11. So July of last year is where you got to go to get down to that that June-July period before we got this big moves in here. The VIX got really low, and then of course it kind of did a reversal bar, but it didn't close up. It was actually down 0.49 for the day. It didn't close up, and it didn't close above here, so we'll see whether or not this means anything, whether it's got any turnaround significance to it. And the last one we'll take a look at is the HighLow Index, or HighLow Indicator. There were 132 more new lows today than new highs, the net, and so this is continuing to push down slightly here. Here's the zero line, here's the neutral line. So now you can just see I've talked about how, we rallied back, but we continue to rally to lower highs here, not confirming any kind of bullish move. And I've got, minus 500 and plus 500 is where I've got extremes. Sometimes it makes it to there, sometimes it doesn't. It's just kind of a reference point. There's no rule that, something has to be there before it's oversold. Okay, the next one we'll take a look at is the high yield bond fund today. We didn't look at it on Monday because we just had one day. And there we go. And the high yield is, going down with the market. And you can see the last 3 days here from Friday, continuing down 0.12 today on the HYG. The bonds, TLT, is coming back around to doing what I thought it was going to do. It's running into some resistance here. Let me get rid of the crosshairs. You can see here and here, I drew this dotted line across. We had this trend line. So the combination of the trend line, the dotted line of resistance, and this 233-day moving average seems to have generated some resistance in here and it has sold back off. Now we'll see whether this holds and continues to come back down again like I'm expecting it to. I'm thinking this is some kind of fourth wave pullback here and that we have one more wave down. We'll see. The next one is we'll take a look at oil. I don't have good data updated on the US dollar. I would have taken a look at that, but not tonight. Do that on Saturday. Let's see, down 0.19 barely. Crude actually, the futures is actually up 0.07 at 45.22 for the day. So we're continuing the downtrend on oil. And gold, let's see, where are you? It's probably right in front of my face. There it is. Gold is continuing to push down too. Now it was down $1.20, 1084.20 on the futures, and GLD is down 0.38, and so it's continuing again. This big bullish type bar, reversal type bar, we break this low, that's going to be very negative. We haven't seemed to do it yet. That's what I'm watching, and then I've talked about this support zone. We'll see where we get, if we get there or not. I expect that we will, but we will see. All right, let's take a look at Disney. Disney was a big mover today. They were investors and traders were not happy with their earnings, And you can see that it was down 11.16 points. They opened it down here at 110, and it traded back up, and then it came right back down and basically closed right about where it opened. So big gap down. It had been trending up really nicely, and so now it looks like it's broken this trend line. I've got this trend line from October of last year up here, and I've got this dotted line as potential support in here, and actually you could draw even a higher dotted line through this congestion in here, which may be catching it. So we'll see whether this holds or not in here. Of course, this weighed on the Dow today quite a bit. So Disney looks like it's breaking down a little bit. And the next one we're going to take a look at is Green Mountain, or Keurig Green Mountain. I always want to keep calling them Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, but it's Keurig Green Mountain. So today, Keurig earnings came out after the market closed, and it was down $1.60 today. So a little bit of this bearish engulfing bar here. We'll blow it up a little bit so you can see this. Now, the interesting thing, let's take a bigger picture, and I'm going to show you what's going on. Okay, this thing has broken a trend line from all the way back here, July 2012. It broke that. It topped out. The high close was up here around 150 something, 157 or something like that in November of last year. Got this big topping formation, broke on down, and tonight in the after hours trading, let me take a look at it. Current bid and S is right around 53. So this thing is trading right down in here. And it's been a couple hours now, so it's pretty solid that it's broken down. We'll see whether that holds by tomorrow morning with the trading. It looks like it, like it's going to, based on the activity of trading that's going on right now. It's about 6 o'clock Central to 6:15 Central Time in the evening here. So pretty good whack, pretty good crash. You almost have to call it a crash. I mean, it's like 27%. If this holds, we'll see where it closes tomorrow, and that'll kind of determine that. All right, let me clear back out of this, and the picture's just not too good for Keurig Green Mountain. And the next one we're going to take a look at is First Solar, and in the opposite direction, First Solar had a huge move today. Everybody's really happy with their earnings, and I think they upped their outlook, that type of thing. So big move. Big gap. I actually had tuned out of this, took it off my list because the volume was drying up a little bit, and don't have it on my regular list that I am trading options off of now. I may change that. We'll see how the volume does. But big day today. 11 million shares traded on this big gap. Now, I drew this dotted line because that's where resistance came in once before. So, and that's slightly above where the high was today. And here's the 233-day moving average right there also. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing because of the angle of the 55-day moving average. If this is going to hold and we're starting a new trend, it's probably going to backfill a little bit and come back down. We'll see whether it comes back down to the 55 or not. Now, here's a couple things. I mean, you can look over here and go, wow, look how it, when it gapped up and had a big move here, it went, and the move was solid. Well, yeah, you got the moving averages to cross, and then eventually got the 21 to cross after this flattened. So I'm just looking at the price action. We're not there yet. Now, the 10's crossing 21 now, but we got a little ways to go. We'll see what kind of trading action we get in here. Now, this had a big distance between the 233 days. So, in terms of a pullback, it had a ways to go. It's already there is the only thing I'm saying as a caution. Okay, so now let's go back and take a look at something in the summer of 2011. And we'll look at this. This is a little bit similar picture, okay? Sharply downtrending 55, it's broken below this, and actually I think ours is declining more than this. This is flatter, and yeah, you get the moving averages cross, it jumps up, big volume, nice big 3 days, but then all of a sudden it breaks back down and it closes below the 10, and the next thing you know, the 10 closes below the 21, and the whole thing rolls right on over and rolls right on down. So what we've got here, we just got to be a little cautious about and watch the price action. I mean, I'm not recommending any kind of trade ideas to be jumping in on this thing. Now, again, as an investor, all depends on your time horizon, what you're doing, that type of thing. But right now, you got to say, I mean, it looks like it's trying to go, but I want to see a little more evidence to tell me what it's really up to. So that's the case on First Solar. And then the last one we're going to talk about tonight is Tesla. And Tesla had its earnings after the market closed today, too. Now, before the market closed, Tesla was up $3.85 and closed at $270 a share. And, I think we've had our first intermediate wave up, 5 waves up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and 1 were about equal. And then we got this extended 5th wave up into here. So that's what I think is happening. I think we're in corrective mode right now. And when you look at this bigger picture, here's what I'm looking at, okay? I think we had a major primary move. Let's show all the trading on Tesla. I think we had one big move here, and then we've been doing the chopping sideways and big ABC second corrective wave, okay? And now I think we're trying to push higher in a third primary wave. And I think this is the first of 5 waves. And of course, you need to correct this wave. So you look at this and say, well, where will this wave correct? And my thinking on it is I look at it and say, let's look at retracements on this. And it's already corrected close to 38%. Hasn't quite gone there. But where it's trading in after hours tonight, let me go to that. It's down around 255. So it's right in here is where it's trading. It's been like 253, 255. So right in here. So it's going to be interesting to see if this thing continues on down, corrects a little bit more. I do think we're in a corrective action. It's not unusual for a wave 2 to come down to 50 to 61.8%. I'm not saying that's going to happen right now. We just got to watch the waves and watch the price action to see how it does correct and what it does do. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some kind of a pullback in here for a second wave and then for a third wave higher. So if I had to draw this out, I would, it looks like we're doing this, and it looks like we could come down to something like this, and then you go for a third wave, and that would be what I'd be looking for. So we'll see. All you can do is say, well, that's a scenario. That's what I'm looking for. We'll see if it plays out. So, all right, that's Tesla tonight. And the reason the earnings were down, or I guess they narrowed their loss some, but the expectation for number of production units for the third quarter were lowered slightly, and for the full year were lowered slightly, and that kind of disappointed everybody. But I have no idea what was going on with the conference call and what was said after all that initial reaction, initial stuff. So, all right, that's it for tonight. So if you're watching this anywhere else besides my website at joehenches.net, head on over there, check out the posts I got and out there for you, and the trade ideas. And speaking of trade ideas, and to get access to the trade ideas, just have to be a subscriber, first name and email, and you're good to go. We did get into 4 new trade ideas today, and a few of these were calls. Matter of fact, all of them were calls, which make me a little nervous, to be honest with you. So we'll see. And all the details are on the Trade Ideas page on Facebook, GoPro, NXP Semiconductors, and SanDisk. So we'll see what happens with those, and we're still in a few others. And Lennar seems to be coming back down our way the way I want it to, and we'll see how that works out tomorrow. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Everyone have a great Thursday, Friday. We will talk to you on Saturday.